This is the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, where every week this brother-sister duo gets together to discuss the box office, latest film and TV scoops, along with our latest movie or show review, and what we're getting into next. We're your host,
Cheryl.
And Jay.
Did you almost say my name?
I did.
That's hilarious. Okay, so this week we watched the Color Purple movie, so our trivia will be based on that. Do you have your thinking cap on? Are you ready?
Sure.
You probably already saw this, but I couldn't find any other trivia, so hopefully you didn't see this little tidbit a week ago. According to Oprah, what two other actresses did the executives want to be in the movie, but Oprah said it ain't happening? You have to get both of them, or you have to guess both of them.
What two other actresses?
I'm sorry, singers. Not actresses, singers.
What two other singers?
They singer actresses. They could either or, but yes, two big name singers. WB was like, can we get them? And Oprah said, I don't think so.
Now she said, I don't think so.
Pretty much. I'll read her exact quote.
Jennifer Hudson.
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Singer actresses?
I might be throwing you out with the actresses part. Think more singer.
Okay.
Yes, think more in the realm they mostly sing.
Are these older or younger?
Our age, but a little older. One in particular is older than us.
Beyonce?
That's one.
They asked for Beyonce.
That's one. The other one is real close in proximity.
That's a little ridiculous. Mariah Carey?
No, think younger. I'll give you a clue. She doesn't sing as much anymore.
Lauryn Hill?
No, but that'll be interesting. I'll give you one more chance. Younger than Lauryn Hill.
Younger than Beyonce.
Younger than Lauryn Hill.
But doesn't sing as much.
It's going to be so obvious when I say it.
Jasmine Sullivan?
No, but she would have been great in this. Now that I think about
often.
it. Rihanna
wouldn't have fit in The Color Purple. Neither one of them would have fit in The Color Purple.
So let me read Oprah's quote. So we're sitting in a room saying, listen, we love Beyonce, we love Rihanna, but there are actors who can do this job. I do remember conversation about, y'all, Beyonce is going to be busy this year. It isn't even a negotiation because you're not getting Beyonce. So apparently what the film's budget, I guess there was going to be lower. So when they upped the budget to be $90 to $100 million, everybody was like, oh, we need a big name star to bring the people in. She says, to be honest about it, if we're doing this film for 30 or 40 million, the interest in the cast would be very different. Once the film moved to 90 to 100 million, then everybody wants us to bring Beyonce. Can we get Beyonce or can you get Rihanna? So they were basically like, oh, we giving y'all this money. Y'all need to bring in somebody big.
Either of them would have blown out the budget.
Well, not only blown out the budget, but I also feel like their fan bases would have overshadowed the whole movie. And I don't even know where they would have fit.
Yeah, and they don't fit in the story themselves because...
Maybe Beyonce could have been like older, could have had the role Sierra had, and Rihanna could have been Squeak. I don't know. That's like the only place I could see either one of them.
The women in Color Purple being dark skinned,
right?
All except for Suge Avery had like meaning to the story.
And even then,
I don't think that Beyonce and Rihanna would have fit the image of The Color Purple.
Listen, and I'm Beehive through and through, but I'm glad that Oprah said it's not happening.
Yeah,
and it just would have overshadowed it, and they wouldn't have fit. And Beyonce being in it and Halle Bailey being in it would have been too on the nose at the same time. Too much. Can you imagine the discourse? No.
I mean, could you imagine the disconnect between seeing Beyonce put on her best Sealy? That's not
best anybody in this movie. Both of them.
Who would either of them be?
That's what I'm saying. That's the only people I can think of. Beyonce could have been was Sierra, older Nettie, maybe. Like that's the only place. And Rihanna could have been Squeak, which was her.
Oh, I was gonna say Miss Sophia.
No, I don't think any other of them could have been like lead.
Yeah, no.
I love Beyonce down, but
No.
Yeah. Thank you, Oprah, for sticking up for that. Now let's get into our episode.
Okay. Welcome, fellow movie buffs. I'm Jay.
I'm Cheryl.
Listen in as we break down movie and TV shows, tell you what's in the plot, and hear if we think you should have watched it when you had the chance.
Dun dun dun. Okay, so this week is the week between Christmas and New Year's. So it's that weird time of like every day is either Tuesday or Saturday. Mm-hmm. And it also reflected in the content that, or the news that got put out this week, which wasn't much of anything. So our episode this week will just be about some 2024 releases that are coming up, and we'll kind of discuss like what's coming out, what we're looking forward to, what we are not looking forward to, and what we maybe are not checking for. And then we'll get into our review for The Color Purple.
Okay.
All right. So let's do sequels first. There is a list of sequels that are supposed to be coming out next year. And this episode actually comes out on New Year's Day. Perfect setting to talk about 2024 movies. So I'll just read off some of the sequels coming out next year. Joker 2, Doom 2, Smile 2, Sonic 3, Venom 3, Gladiator 2, Bad Boys 4, which I totally forgot about, Deadpool 3, Inside Out 2, Beetlejuice 2, Ghostbusters 4, Despicable Me 4, Kung Fu Panda 4, and Beverly Hills Cop 4. I did not realize that many 4 movies were coming out.
Yeah.
Which are you most looking forward to, and which one are you kind of like, no thank you?
So Joker 2.
I didn't see the first Joker. Did you see the first one?
I saw the first Joker. I watched it at home.
Was it good? Everybody seemed to love it. It made like $1 billion.
There was nothing technically wrong with the film.
And I love Joaquin
It was
Phoenix,
a well put together film, well directed, well acted, well set. Anytime something's set in Gotham City, you kind of automatically get like set design points.
Right.
The movie itself, no.
You didn't like the movie, no?
No. And the subject matter itself, no.
It was very much about mental health, right?
Yeah, and then just a lot of story elements that were made up or added in that shouldn't have been there, that don't fit with the character, like trying to make a connection between, is Joker secretly Bruce's illegitimate brother?
Oh, really? They tried to do that?
Yeah, like the Wayne family, he had an affair.
Oh.
And with Joker's
Bruce
mom.
Wayne's. Oh, okay.
And didn't claim Joker, but was the father to Bruce, the Waynes.
It almost felt like it could have been another movie and not called Joker, based on what I know about it. But I like my Joker. It could have been a completely different movie. I like my Joker with Batman. So the fact that this was not like a superhero movie called Joker, I said I don't think so.
Outside of it taking place in Gotham City and them shoehorning in like the Batman elements that are specific to Bruce.
Oh,
Bruce.
I didn't know that was in there.
I mean, they have the Waynes in there. It ends with like the Waynes being murdered.
Okay.
Like that. So they like threw that stuff in, and it didn't have to make it be to make it connected. So.
Okay.
Am I interested in Joker 2?
It's a musical. You remember that, right? It's supposed to be like full length. Lady Gaga is playing Harley Quinn.
I need to see a trailer. Lady Gaga is a good actress.
There's been no trailer yet, which I feel like.
But the thing is, nowadays, they don't advertise musicals as musicals anymore. They advertise them as like silent movies.
with a soundtrack playing in the background. They
deliberately don't put any of like the musical music in the trailer to fool people.
That was a piece of, I guess, news that came out where they were saying that movies that are musicals like Wonka, Mean Girls, Color Purple, there's another one that I'm forgetting, that they didn't advertise them as musicals because it turns people off.
Right.
So they trick you into going into the movie, and then you go, wait a second, it's a musical. So we'll see how they advertise it. But
so Joker
2, no,
I'll wait to stream it.
I didn't see the first one. I don't think I'm going to. So
the first one won an Oscar. This one probably, I don't know.
I think they're only making a sequel because the first one made $1 billion.
I feel like making a sequel kind of ruins Oscar chances for the sequel, because they usually they try not to give the big awards to the prestigious awards to franchise films.
You're right. Right.
I don't know, but no, I'll stream Joker 2.
Skip.
Dune 2.
We'll see that.
We'll see that in theaters because it looks like it's, like we said, it looks like it's going to be the return of the king of the Dune franchise. So
action.
That's interesting.
Uh-huh.
Smile 2. I will probably
This is a horror movie for anybody. Don't be deceived. Smile is a horror movie if you didn't know.
Yeah, it is. Smile 2, I'll probably see on streaming.
Okay.
Have you seen? No, you haven't seen.
Come
Smile.
on now.
You know what Smile is about?
No, but I kept seeing the poster of the chick with the smile planted on her face. Mm-hmm. That's all I know.
It's like a supernatural entity that transfers from person to person. It's like The Ring, but with smiles.
I can't do that.
And it ended really stupid.
Oh, but it's getting a sequel. Somebody liked it.
Sonic 3.
Didn't see the first two.
Didn't see the first two.
I do like it.
I'm not a Sonic fan.
No, but I do like that Idris Elba keeps coming back.
I've aged out of the defeating the enemy with the power of friendship phase.
So that's literally every animated video game movie.
That's most of them. So
isn't that what Mario was about?
I don't think Mario had a plot.
Oh.
But Sonic's plot is always that, defeating the enemy with the power of friendship.
Because he's got, I can't think of what Sonic's sidekick's name is, but he is also in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Little Sonic.
All of his Sonic variants, they're all like in the movie as well.
Right. Venom 3, yes?
Yeah, because we saw the other two.
I did not like the second one, but I feel like we got to see
Nobody liked the second one. But the second one did the Eddie Venom better.
Did it?
Like Eddie Venom was better.
Sure.
But the
overall movie though,
there's a poor use of Woody Harrelson
and Naomi Harris.
Yeah. No.
Zero stars.
Then I don't think it's gonna connect back to the MCU Spider-Man.
Now, just so people are aware, Venom is outside of the MCU, so it's a Sony-verse picture.
Mm-hmm. They did like one little crossover thing to build up hype for No Way Home.
And then they took it back.
And then they took it back out.
Right. So when we say one MCU film, we're not talking about anything related to Sony, which would be Venom.
Terrifier 3.
It's a horror movie. So
it's a awful, disgusting, gory horror movie.
The pictures always look nasty.
I've only
seen one of them?
It's like Hostel, but like dialed up to 100. And with no plot. Just a killer clown. Why does it
have 3?
Because it's made with like $10.
Okay.
And a roll of quarters.
And all they need
$11.
So they just need 5 people to watch it and they made their money back.
Or $20. And yeah, it's a super cheap horror movie. They can probably make their whole entire budget back over a weekend. It doesn't have any stars in it. It's foreign.
Is it? I didn't know that.
It's not rated. So it's one of those not rated horror movies that hasn't been...
So it's real bad.
Like all the gore and the violence has not been cut down by the MPAA. Like it's the original gross cut.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's awful.
Okay, it sounds awful.
So I've seen the first 2.
Oh, you have seen it. Okay.
Home.
You need to finish it out then.
I don't think I need to see the third one.
You've had enough.
The second one was way too much. The first one was way too much, but the second one was way too much.
Is it worse than like Saw?
Yeah, because Saw...
has restrictions,
has less cutaways, and there's no funny characters in Terrifier. There's no characters that you care about. The dialogue's bad. It's like a film student's version of a horror film, but like a high school film student's.
Okay,
not like the college one.
Giving film studies 101.
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay, next, Gladiator 2, probably one of my most anticipated movies of 2024. It doesn't come out till December, I think. But Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal are in this. Ridley Scott is returning to direct. I don't see... He should not get it wrong. A lot of room for error.
There's a lot of room for error.
Based on what Napoleon was. But...
yeah.
We're going to hope for the best.
As time has gone on, Ridley Scott has gotten further off his rocker. But
Napoleon was...
I hope Gladiator snaps him right back into form.
He's got Denzel... He's got Pedro. I mean, come on. And he's got the back of the first Gladiator. If this is not good as the first, we're not going to hear the end of it. Ever.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bad Boys 4.
Forgot this was coming out. And I am one who was not a fan of the third one. But I have to see this one on principle.
I don't think the third one was bad. But I do think the third one was the Fast and Furiousification of the franchise.
I could agree with
because
that.
they tried to introduce like the younger team
Family.
of SWAT people.
Family.
Yeah. And then it ended with like a family dinner.
Right. And, plot was real thin, real predictable, real flashy.
And then Will Smith has a
son
who somehow dodged the one drop because there's no way that man
adopted
is any piece of black. But anyway.
Maybe he's like Odin and Loki.
Yeah.
It's adopted.
Shoehorning in
kids.
Will Smith's, Malcolm Lowry's illegitimate kid was a choice, but
I feel like we have to see this one because it's Bad Boys and we've seen all the other ones, but I can't say I'm looking for it. The trailer might sell me. Let's put it that way. The trailer might sell me.
I hope they don't waste too much plot trying to convince us that.
Is the son going to be in it? We don't even know anything about this movie, do we?
We have no idea who's going to be returning. I'm assuming that all the SWAT kids that they introduced in the last one is going to be returning.
I forgot who they were. So sure.
But I do hope they don't spend too much time on Martin Lawrence's character debating whether he wants to retire because they've done that for like 2 movies.
Yeah.
He's not going to retire.
He's obviously not retiring.
Please do not waste too much plot trying to convince us whether or not he's going to retire. He's not retiring. So
you right.
Tell a good story.
You right. I forgot about the SWAT kids. I don't like when they try to shoehorn in. That's where they lost me with Grey's Anatomy when they started bringing in the young.
Well, because they got to.
And I was like,
they got to try to bring in fresh faces to continue the franchise.
But I don't care about.
And it looked like they were trying to position them for like a spinoff.
Oh God.
So
next, anyway.
Deadpool 3. This is probably my most anticipated film.
Absolutely.
Of 2024.
There's so many rumors and casting announcements and set photo leaks, and literally all of the MCU is riding on this movie next year because it is the only MCU movie coming out in 2024.
So things we know Deadpool is going to be in it.
Obviously.
We know Hugh Jackman is returning as Wolverine.
We got him in costume.
We know the movie's going to be based around some multiverse hopping.
Mm-hmm.
We know
Sabretooth is in it because they leaked that photo.
Mm-hmm. We know it takes place in the Fox universe where the original X-Men film took place.
We've seen some set of that.
We've seen TVA agents in set
photos. I could have swore we've seen at least one photo with somebody in a TVA jacket.
So there's a strong possibility TVA is going to play a part. And there's rumors that the original 4 X-Men will be in this film. That would be Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry as Storm, Famke Janssen returning as Jean Grey, and Cyclops, who was played by... Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Sonic. He's the guy from Sonic.
James Marsden.
There it is. Yes. I mean, let's do a prediction right now. $1 billion or not? Not that it needs to. Every movie doesn't need to make, but I'm just having fun here.
I don't know. I feel like I'm reluctant to call any film $1 billion film now.
Which is fair, because that didn't used to be a thing.
It didn't, so I don't want to make that the new standard.
I'm going to say it's going to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3 numbers, which was around 800 million. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm gonna say
no scientific proof or testing behind that at all.
I'm gonna say it's gonna do Multiverse of Madness numbers,
which is like 900, right?
Which made the most.
Okay, that's fair.
Outside of
I'll give you that.
Outside of the $1 billion that Spider-Man did.
Right. You're probably right. Right.
And that's because it came with all of those. That movie made a lot of money because of the multiverse, and people wanted to see all the different variants of the characters.
And this is beyond Spider-Man variants.
Well, I mean, this isn't even like this is variants, but these are the originals.
Right.
This is pre-MCU.
Which we haven't seen.
Which we have not seen.
In the MCU at all, but I'm just trying to think.
Patrick Stewart.
Right.
But this is... These are the people who held down comic book movies before we had the MCU. So I think...
You're right.
I think that's going to be...
Break the internet.
Yeah. So...
Very looking forward to this. This one comes out in July. So we got 7 months.
Inside Out 2. Didn't see it.
Didn't see the first one.
No.
We did get a trailer for it in front of Color Purple, and I wasn't sold. So the trailer, however, I think broke some records. So people are obviously excited about this.
Yeah, Inside Out is one of the films that people really love. So, yeah. One of the animated films.
Well, you guys have to tell us how it is.
Beetlejuice 2.
Don't know much about this one other than I think all the OGs are coming back and Jenna Ortega is in this one.
So I guess Jenna Ortega plays...
Who does she play? The kid?
daughter of Winona Ryder?
Okay. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. When I saw this was Beetlejuice 2, I actually thought the new one coming out was a remake. So I feel like I need to go back and watch the first Beetlejuice to even see why they continued to do a 2.
I don't think I remember seeing Beetlejuice.
The
No,
original?
I did see the original Beetlejuice. Yeah.
It's old, so you might not have.
I have seen the original Beetlejuice.
Okay. I need to do a rewatch. I don't know when this one's coming out. I don't think they've said much about plot design or plot storyline, any of that. So we'll see.
Paddington 3, no.
No, we're going to skip because I didn't see the first 2.
Ghostbusters 4. I would see Ghostbusters 4. I liked the last Ghostbusters.
I feel like I would see the last one or number 4 because I did see the last one and the last one was cool. I was not a big Ghostbusters fan, so you kind of had to convince me to go see the last one. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I'll see this one. We'll see this one.
Yeah, I'm not a big Ghostbusters fan. I don't mind the first Ghostbusters. The second Ghostbusters was not good.
I don't even remember the second one. Now hold on, backtrack. I like the Ghostbusters with all the women. No, I like that one.
I didn't mind the Lady Ghostbusters.
The Lady Ghostbusters ones gets trashed and everybody hates it because it's ladies. But that one was actually pretty funny.
I thought it was funny.
It was funny. And I ain't gonna say that's the best Ghostbusters because I don't even remember the first 2, but I do like that one.
Ghostbusters 3 was good. It was like the Jurassic World of Ghostbusters.
Good description.
Yeah.
That's a good description. Old and new, but more new than old.
This looks like the Fallen Kingdom of Ghostbusters.
I hope it's better than Fallen Kingdom, though.
It looks like it's going to be on par with Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, don't say that. Don't discourage me.
Because Fallen Kingdom wasn't bad, but it was not the best of the 3.
It was not the best of that 3.
And this one looks like it's got the sequel curse, where it's the middle child.
So they'll do like Ghostbusters 5 will be like the last Jurassic Park Dominion. Is that what you're saying?
Basically.
Okay. Despicable Me 4. Have I seen any Despicable Me to know that
I've seen the first Despicable Me and I've seen Minions.
Okay, I've seen the first Despicable Me. I don't think I've seen Minions. I did not know we were up to 4 though. I missed the boat of 2, 3, and 4.
So
or 2
no,
and 3.
Not seeing Despicable Me 4.
You guys can tell us how that one is too.
You guys can also tell us how Kung Fu Panda 4 is going to be.
Because we discussed how we had not seen those either.
Yeah.
And then last on the list is Beverly Hills Cop 4, which I actually think looks pretty decent.
It looks decent. I did not know that my mom was a big fan of Beverly Hills Cop movies.
Mom, are you listening? He didn't know.
So I did find that out, and I'm interested in seeing it just because so not interested in Beverly Hills Cop.
But this is R-rated, right? This is the R-rated.
They are R-rated.
Right.
And this one looks like it's going more in a Bad Boys direction.
Yes.
So
I would give you
that.
Or
maybe Bad Boys went in a Beverly Hills Cop direction. Maybe Bad Boys is derivative
Chicken
of Beverly Hills Cop.
Chicken or the egg? Probably Bad Boys is
it's
derivative.
A more modernized take on Beverly Hills Cop. So I'm interested in seeing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are all, I mean, there might be some other ones, but these are the big sequels that's coming out. You guys tell us which ones you are looking forward to, or tell us which ones you didn't even know was coming out or you forgot about. Like Paddington 3. Because I didn't know there were 3 of those. So, all right. Next on our list, you want to do superhero villains first or save that one for last?
We can do that one next.
Okay. So superhero villain movies. Let me click my link here. Okay. This list is actually it's kind of long. I'm just going to read it off. Some of these are shows, by the way, and not just movies. So Echo, Craven, Agatha, already said Joker and Venom, Kite Man. I don't even know what that is. X-Men 97, Deadpool 3, The Penguin, Boys Season 4, Invincible Season 2, Madam Web, recently announced was a Megamind show, Eyes of Wakanda, which we talked about, Suicide Squad, Isekai, is that a word?
Isekai, it is the anime Suicide Squad movie that's supposed to be coming out.
Okay. Watchmen, which is also animated. Creature Commandos, also animated. And then Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, also animated. So there are a good chunk of these are actually animated shows and not live action. Mm-hmm. Biggest ones I would say I'm excited for: Echo, Agatha. We already talked about Deadpool. I'm curious to how Invincible Season 2 is going to pan out. And Eyes of Wakanda. The rest of these, I don't even know if I would check out. like, unfortunately, I fell off The Boys, and I really liked The Boys when it started, but it went way too left field for me. So,
mine would be Echo, definitely.
mm-hmm.
Agatha, for sure.
Yep. Which whatever title it's gonna come out with.
I'm interested in the first 2 episodes of X-Men 97.
What? Why do you say the first 2?
I
X-Men 97 is animated also.
X-Men 97 is animated. It's a continuation of the original
Saturday morning cartoons.
X-Men TV series that took place in the 90s. That came out in the 90s.
Okay.
And so I'm interested in the first 2 episodes of X-Men 97. X-Men was one of those shows where every 2 episodes was a 2-parter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I remember
one
that.
Always ended with a to be continued, and then they finished it in the next episode. And then the next episode started a new story, and it ended with a to be continued.
I do kind of remember that happening. Okay.
They did that a lot. And the reason I say that is because X-Men original 2 episodes that's opened up the series was the Sentinel episodes. And then it kind of just got really slow after that.
Oh.
So I hope that they maintain momentum with 97.
I was going to say, I like the animation style because it's old school. Or I don't know if they call that old school.
I don't know. There's a lot of debate on, is that the confirmed animation style?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was.
Because there's been debate that they changed the animation style.
Oh, so I wonder if it's going to be more like...
When they were doing all the release date changes and the name changes, I saw that they were changing the animation style for 97.
So we'll see what they decided to go with. Interesting.
Deadpool 3, yes. Penguin. I'm interested in Penguin.
I'm taking your stance on I need to see the first couple episodes. I like the Penguin in the Batman because Colin Farrell did an excellent job and the makeup was just crazy. But do I want a whole Penguin show?
The story has to be worth it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'll start it.
The story has to be worth it and has to be important. Don't just give us a Penguin show because y'all just needed more content.
Right.
Like, how does this connect to the larger Batman universe?
Exactly. I was going to say, is it going to connect to the next Batman? Because if not, I'm going to skip it.
Invincible 2, I'm interested in seeing how they're going to wrap that up. I think it's going to be the better half of the season.
Agree. They're setting up a lot in that I think is going to pay off in that second part.
But Invincible is one of the comic books that I deliberately did not read, so I don't know what's coming up. So I have no idea.
Okay.
And I guess the last 2 would be Eyes of Wakanda.
Okay.
And the Watchmen animated series.
I didn't know the Watchmen was getting an animated series.
Yeah, so the Watchmen is getting an animated series.
Is it separate from the movie, obviously?
Yeah, it's going to just be another reboot.
Okay.
It's going to tell the story all over again.
Okay.
So it's not going to be part of the series. So I think the series with Regina King took place after Watchmen.
Okay.
It was completely original stories that took place after Watchmen.
Okay.
And this is supposed to be more accurate to the source material.
Interesting.
And nothing like Zack Snyder's movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not interested in Creature Commandos?
No, because Creature Commandos is like, you remember the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Yes.
And how bad it was?
Aww.
Because the source material was like, so the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the source material was like so deep and profound. That's why the dude who made it who also did Watchmen, doesn't like.
Oh, it's the same guy. Doesn't he always hate when his stuff gets adapted into something else?
He's like, my stuff is only supposed to be in this one medium
format.
And it's not supposed to be any other medium.
Okay.
So he made Watchmen and he made League of Extraordinary
I didn't
Gentlemen.
know it was the same guy.
And Creature Commandos is a comic book watered down version of Watchmen intentionally because it's just all of the Frankenstein monsters.
Yeah, they all look
together.
Weird.
And it's going to be under James Gunn, which means it's going to be funny. It seems like it's just going to be another version of the Harley
Suicide
Quinn show.
Squad? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is actually well liked though.
That's where Kite Man is from.
Oh.
So Kite Man is supposed to be a
Getting
spinoff
spin-off.
from. He's a villain. He's supposed to be a villain.
Okay.
In DC, and he doesn't have any powers. He's just a man who has a kite suit and he flies around.
Thank you. Creature Commandos, if you didn't know, is the first project out of the new DC James Gunn verse lineup. So I think that'll be
before Superman Legacy.
I believe so.
And
I think
it's animated.
Yes, it'll be this. Then Superman Legacy is the first movie. So this will be very heavily scrutinized or loved or trashed. And everybody's going to use this to determine how they feel about Superman Legacy. So that discourse will be interesting.
Yeah. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, no, because I've never been interested in Spider-Man cartoons.
Really?
Yeah.
And we don't know.
Never liked Spider-Man cartoons.
I don't even think I even watched Spider-Man cartoons growing up, but we'll see what the reception is before I add another thing to my list.
Yeah. I like Spider-Man as a character, though. Just something about his cartoons just...
Didn't translate?
No.
Interesting. It's interesting because I feel like if you could do X-Men, you could do Spider-Man. Like, not you, but like if the creators could do X-Men right, they could do Spider-Man right.
I think because Spider-Man cartoons and Spider-Man and Batman basically have the same story.
Oh.
Just like dark, well, not the same exact story, but the same hero setup where it's just one guy versus a whole gallery of villains.
Fair enough.
I think Batman's were just like more entertaining.
Well, entertaining, probably darker.
Yeah.
And we've had so many iterations of both of those. It's like another Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, y'all. So yeah, that'll be also interesting in how they do that animation style, because I thought that one was supposed to be old school as well.
I think it is, but who knows now? Because they haven't. The last thing we heard about this show was that they changed the name because it was not called Friendly Neighborhood
You are
Spider-Man.
correct. It was called Spider-Man Freshman Class.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is a younger version of Spider-Man cartoon, not Peter Parker as an adult.
Right.
Like he is in the movies. All right. So our next list of things, this one is just more about franchises returning with new films. So these are not necessarily sequels, or they might be a sequel. They might be a prequel. They might be reboots. They might be offshoots. Let me go down the list. Alien, Twister, Mad Max, Bad Boys, you already talked about, The Crow, John Wick, Transformers, The Lion King, Ghostbusters, already mentioned, Despicable Me, already mentioned, Lord of the Rings, Beverly Hills Cop, which we mentioned, Wallace and Gromit, which I've never seen any of, and Planet of the Apes. So all of these movies have some sequel, reboot, rehash, reimagining version of them coming out. My favorite on this is probably, I don't know actually. Mad Max.
Mad Max, okay.
And I'm curious about Transformers because this is the one that Transformers is animated, but it has the...
This is the Netflix movie.
Yes, has a star-studded cast list. So Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson is this Transformer. So I'm interested in that. The rest of these, the ones that we haven't talked about, Planet of the Apes. Like, we'll go see Planet of the Apes, but we'll see how it turns out. It's a whole new trilogy. They're calling this the new trilogy of Planet of the Apes. So new people behind the scenes. The Lion King is a Mufasa movie, which I know everybody's going to go, we didn't ask for this, but we'll see. Who is directing this? Oh, Barry Jenkins. That's who directed it. So now I'm like mostly interested because it's Barry Jenkins affiliated. What other one am I looking forward to on here? Twister, only because they say it's not a sequel, it's not a reboot, it's just a whole new thing, and I'm like, okay, y'all, what are y'all about to do? But those would be mine that I'm looking forward to in 2024.
Mine, definitely am interested in Aliens.
What is the alien thing?
What is that? It's another Alien movie.
Is it built about the previous, or is this just we doing aliens over?
Well, they're all canon.
Okay.
All the Alien, and even Prometheus, they're all supposed to be canon.
Because the last one was a sequel to Prometheus.
Yes.
Okay, I like that one. That one was good.
Yeah, so they all of the new ones that have come out have still taken place
in the same universe
before Ripley's first movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so all of these movies still take place.
I knew
Sigourney
that.
Weaver's trilogy is still the last in the timeline, technically.
I don't know if I knew that or not.
Yeah, so everything that's come out since has been before Sigourney Weaver.
Okay.
It's one of the Star Wars things where it's in a not
so it's
in
the
a galaxy
prequels.
far away, but it's in the future, but in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why the technology looks like that.
Okay, so this one says that Kaylee Spanny, who I think is the lead for this movie, said that this film takes place between Alien and Aliens. So this one is set...
so this will be the first one that takes place after Ripley. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so this was in between the one that came out in 79 and then the one that came out in 86.
So this must take place in the years the 30 some odd years when she was just floating out in space waiting to be rescued.
Okay.
Yeah.
Synopsis is young people from a distant world must face the most terrifying life form in the universe. And that's it. No prominent people in this one. It looks like it's all kind of maybe.
I wonder if it takes place on that colony then.
That.
Because remember, in the first Alien, they crash land on a planet and they find the alien ship. Mm-hmm. And then all this stuff happens. And then it ends where Sigourney Weaver defeats the one alien, but she has to wait until she's rescued. And then the second movie, that's how the first movie ends. Okay. And then the second movie picks up where they find her.
Right.
And they tell her, like, oh, you've been in stasis for like 30 years.
I should rewatch all of those.
They're really good. The second one opens up where they find Sigourney Weaver in space. And they're like, oh, you've been in stasis for like, I'm guesstimating, but they were like, she's been in space for a lifetime to where her daughter grew up and died of old age. But she's telling like, oh, don't go to this planet because that's where we found an alien. And they were like, oh, we've actually had a colony on there for like the past like 10 years and haven't had an issue.
So it has to be because
so maybe this movie is about the colony.
Them landing on the colony by accident or something. It doesn't give. That's all the synopsis. They haven't given anything, and this comes out in August.
That's supposed to be the only place where they knew the aliens were. So
interesting.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that. That's the only thing I can think of that's unexplored
for Alien
French. It's like Star Wars where they change time periods and you have to like guess what part of the timeline they haven't looked at.
It's so hard. When you're watching a Star Wars show, you probably get annoyed with me. I'm like, when does this take place again?
Yeah.
Because I forgot where we are in the universe on this.
Twister, I'm excited about. They're calling the new one Twisters, which is funny because the other movie had multiple twisters and multiple scenes at the same time.
They're going to do that weird CGI thing where there's like 3 twisters on the ground.
Maybe it's going to be like 8 twisters.
Of course.
A field of twisters.
Like Meg 2. More Meg.
Maybe they're going to fight the twisters.
Please don't.
Mad Max, definitely interested in. I need to rewatch Fury Road.
I just saw that recently, so I think I'm good.
Bad Boys. Yeah, I'll give it another watch. The Crow. I need to see a trailer first. I was not that interested in The Crow.
I don't even think I've seen the original.
The Crow has like 4 movies. And
this is a remake, I think, of the first one or continuation. I don't know.
None of them are good films, but they're cult classics. Maybe I just need to see a trailer for this. John Wick movie. That's going to be the ballerina.
Yes.
I'm interested in seeing that. I think it takes place before the last John Wick. Because
it takes place in between 3 and 4, if I'm not mistaken.
So Keanu has not died yet.
No.
Okay. So I'm interested in seeing that. Transformers.
No?
I need to see a trailer.
You don't want to hear? You're not, the voice cast list doesn't have you excited?
I think my issue is that we've seen what they can do with live action. Why are we going back to animated?
Oh. But it's going to be like a different maybe they're trying to get more kids. Like younger kids.
The kids not
to transform.
Are kids not impressed by the live action?
I don't know what kids watch nowadays. Very honest. I don't know because certain things don't take off, and I'm like, I would have loved this if I was a kid. But kids watch like TikTok and YouTube,
and
nowadays.
That's the same issue I have with the Lord of the Rings thing. It's like we've seen what you guys have been able to accomplish. Not with the Hobbit. The Hobbits were awful, but the Lord of the Rings movies, we've seen what you guys have done with those. Why are we going backwards to animation?
But listen to the cast list. Let me just reread the cast list. But Scarlett Johansson, John Hamm, Chris Hemsworth, Lawrence Fishburne, Bryce T. Henry. No? I
would love to see them voice act in a live action Transformers movie.
That would cost too much. That would probably be like,
maybe shouldn't.
We ain't got the budget for all y'all to be voicing all these people.
Maybe they shouldn't have blown so much of their money on the bad Transformers movies, except for this last one. This last one was good,
right? With the exception of the last one, the little trilogy before that, totally skipped over it. No, thank you.
Okay, so The Lion King
is a Mufasa
prequel.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
I guess.
Animation will probably be good.
Like I said, The Lord of the Rings. I'm interested in seeing it because it sounds like it's going to be a war-focused one. And that's what Lord of the Rings does really good. It's called The War of the Rohirrim. Looks like it takes place after the original trilogy. No, this takes place way earlier than The Lord of the Rings. It
Oh,
says
really?
the untold story behind Helm's Deep, hundreds of years before the fateful war, telling the life of the blood-soaked times of its founder, Helm Hammerhand, the King of Rohan.
Oh, so it's the story of the guy who made Helm's Deep.
Yeah, when they're at the end of the Two Towers, when Theoden's leading them out, and he was like, for Helm Hammerhand. And that's what he's saying, that they're leading the charge out in honor of. So I guess this is like the first king.
Okay. Brian Cox is narrating. That's got to be good.
Miranda Otto is returning. I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know how that's going to work.
But she's like, well, she's a man. I mean, she's not a man.
Yeah,
she's a human.
Yeah,
so how could
her
she
race
have,
is of man.
Yeah,
so yeah, how does she age? Maybe she's playing an entirely different character.
No,
it says
it doesn't say. It says she narrates. I don't know how that's gonna work. They don't need to explain that because she should be dead.
Yeah,
or not alive.
She should be not alive.
She should not even be thought of when this is happening.
Maybe she is narrating. Maybe she's telling the story to like her children or something.
Fair. You just figured it out for us.
Wallace and Gromit. No,
I haven't watched any of those. I honestly don't even know what that's about.
It's Chicken Run. It's the same creators. It's not about Chicken Run, but it's the same creators.
I don't like the style of Chicken Run, so I always skip it.
Planet of the Apes, sure. I would see Planet of the Apes.
What's throwing me off about Planet of the Apes is the time jump, I think. And I don't know if
just forget everything you know. That's why they said that.
But that's hard to do when you've seen all the other movies. I'm just supposed to act like none of this other stuff existed?
Well, it's still a forget everything you know.
Yeah,
you're supposed to act like it's so far removed that it doesn't matter.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. All right. Last on the list I have, and some of these are repeats, so I only repeat the ones that we hadn't talked about. Okay. So these are animated movies that are coming out next year. Fixed, which sounds like it's a movie about animals getting fixed. I'm just gonna wild guess that one.
Okay.
Garfield. Other ones I haven't mentioned. We are talking about Despicable, Kung Fu Panda. Winnie the Pooh prequel is coming out. See, that's why kids.
Blood and Honey.
Right. Is this like the kids version, or this is like the Saw X version of this? And then other ones that stick out: Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths. I thought that was a video game, or is that just a line of comic?
It's a comic book line. It's the Infinity Gauntlet of Justice League.
Okay. And then the other one we have is The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Very interesting. Outside of the ones we already talked about, the only other one that sticks out to me is maybe Garfield. I don't know if I want to see Garfield. I'm on the fence.
Okay, so Fixed is exactly what you thought it was about. Mm-hmm. It's about a dog who's in love with his next door neighbor dog, but finds out he's going to be neutered soon.
Is this like a kid's movie?
It's adult-ish for kids. I don't know. It's under New Line Cinema.
So it could be either one.
And Sony Pictures. The cast list is Adam Devine, who plays the main dog, which I'm absolutely uninterested in. But also it stars Idris Elba, Kathryn Hahn, Fred Armisen, and a whole bunch of other characters.
So they got a little budget. Idris Elba is really finding his place in voice acting, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
He's
and
like,
Kathryn Hahn is making a resurgence, so
and
absolutely.
Who doesn't love Kathryn Hahn?
So Fixed, no. Garfield, no, because I've just never been interested in Garfield.
I'm only curious because Samuel Jackson is involved.
That's not enough.
Maybe on streaming, we'll see if this is like a Mario where the audience gives it like a 99 and the critics are like 12%.
Watchmen, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think if it's good, you should watch it because I think you have not seen Watchmen depicted well, and maybe it just can't be depicted well.
Right, because I didn't watch the HBO series.
You do enjoy superhero stuff, and Watchmen are superheroes with nuance and with done well. I think you would appreciate that.
If it's like Invincible, I can get on board in terms of like tone.
No, it's not like Invincible, because Invincible still is a little bit sunny. Okay. Watchmen would be like
Gotham all the time.
Tone-wise, it would be like a Sin City.
Oh, okay.
Tone-wise.
Okay. I like Sin City. I like the first Sin City.
Yes.
So maybe I could give it a chance if that was the case.
Ultraman Rises, no.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, Ultraman is like Ultraman is what inspired. It's that one of those Japanese shows and characters that inspired Power Rangers.
Oh.
That's where the West got the idea of Power. They stole the idea of Power Rangers from Japanese television.
Oh.
Japanese people already had Power Rangers.
Had no idea.
And they were called something else, and they're still it's kind of just like anime. And they're still like thriving over there.
Oh, wait a minute. Now I might be interested in this.
Where Power Rangers is kind of like dwindling over here, but yes,
Gone pretty much.
It's
gone.
what inspired like Power Rangers and stuff like that.
I'm looking it up. I had no idea.
That's where the West got the idea of the end of the episode is where the monster turns 10 times the size.
Oh,
the heroes jump into giant robots and combine together. That's where they got the idea from.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay, yeah. I might put this on my list then. It's coming on Netflix, so easy access.
I think there's already Ultraman content that's on Netflix, and yes. Ultraman's one of those characters that also like teams up to Godzilla randomly in some stuff.
Listen, sign me up then. I feel like I'm sold now just because you said that.
The Wild Robot. I don't know what that is.
Me neither. I can't. It's funny reading these off, and you can't tell if it's a kids movie or if it's an adult, like a mature theme thing. There's this one on the list that I didn't call Saving Bikini Bottom Sandy Cheeks. That sounds like something that's not for kids, but it's animated, so
Sandy
I don't know.
Cheeks is the name of the squirrel character.
What squirrel?
The squirrel in SpongeBob. The squirrel that wears the astronaut
Now
suit.
let me be very honest. I did not watch SpongeBob like that. So some of the references be going way over my head.
You were like in high school by the time SpongeBob
Yeah,
started.
I missed the SpongeBob way. So anytime somebody cracks a joke, I'm like, haha, I don't know what that means.
The Wild Robot is based on a book, and the premise says when robot Roz opens her eyes for the first time, she discovers that she is alone on a remote wild island. Why is she there? Where does she come from? Somebody describes it as Wall-E meets Hatchet. Can a robot survive in the wilderness?
Interesting. I would need to see your trailer.
I liked Wall-E.
Okay. Did you ever start that one animated show about the people who get stranded on a planet and everything was trying to kill them?
No. I do need to start that. That's the show with Wunmi Musaku.
Yes. And we talked about that. And I was like, I don't think either one of us.
Scavenger's Reign.
Yes.
But I've heard it's really good.
Okay.
And it's currently sitting at a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes critic score.
Good Lord. So, okay.
Yeah.
Putting that one on the list.
I heard it's really good. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome.
To watch that. So, The Wild Robot. Sure.
Okay.
I need to see a trailer.
Yes, it sounds like it.
Orion and the Dark.
I don't know what that is either.
I don't know why that reminds me of Ori in the Wilderness.
It sounds something dark fantasy.
Because that's a dark fantasy video game. Animated fantasy adventure comedy film. That's way too many genres.
So something for kids. It sounds like.
It's written by Charlie Kaufman. Why does that name sound familiar?
It sounds cute. It basically sounds like a kid who's afraid of the dark, and then he has to go on adventures to overcome why the dark. And there's nothing to be afraid of at night.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and Being John Malkovich. Okay.
And he's making a kids movie. That'll be interesting.
So this will have your child going home.
It is based on books.
Debating the meaning of life.
It looks like it's based on a book. So it might already have a fan base built in. But I do like the concept of a character going on adventures to not be afraid of the dark. That's kind of cute.
Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, sure. All of the DC animated movies are 10 out of 10.
Yeah, the animated department of DC has been getting way more love and attention and care than the live action. And hopefully they're able to keep that up with this new change of hand that's happening.
Like the Justice League animated movie is like so good. I think it's called Justice League War. But basically it like tells the story of like the Justice League coming together for the first time. It's done much, much, much better than the Justice League movies, both Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon's version.
Woo.
And I'm not interested in any Looney Tunes movies.
The fact that Looney Tunes is still holding on, good for them. Good for them. Like
Yeah.
I said, I don't know what kids watch nowadays, but I bet you most of them, if I had to guess, aren't very familiar with Looney Tunes. So the fact that they're keeping it alive,
Power to them.
Where I say I'm all for it. Trying to Give the kids the recipes.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all our movie news because it was pretty light. Like I said, we're in that weird what day is it week between Christmas and New Year. So now we're going to take a quick break and get into our review for The Color Purple.
All right.
All right, so this week we saw The Color Purple. And if you don't know what The Color Purple is, shame on you. I'm just kidding. Color Purple released on December 25th, this Christmas 2023. It is a musical. Red alert, red alert. If you did not know, this is a musical. It is not a remake of the Stephen King movie from 80 something.
Steven Spielberg.
Dang.
Could you imagine
I'm gonna leave that in.
Stephen King's Color Purple?
Yes, because that is funny that I just
the
said
Ghost of the Ancestors.
The horror Color Purple version. This is not a remake of that.
The Ghost of the Ancestors are haunting Sealy.
This is not a remake of the Steven Spielberg film, but a remake or a adaptation of Marcus Gartley's screenplay, which is based on the stage musical The Color Purple. And both of them, both the movie and the musical, are both based on the 1982 novel by Alice Walker, The Color Purple. So source material is the same for both of these, but this particular movie is based off the Broadway musical. Therefore, it is a musical. I feel like there was a lot of confusion about people said they went into the movie and didn't know it was a musical. But we did just briefly talk about how they haven't been advertising musicals as musicals. So I'm going to give y'all a pass. But it's clearly starring singers. So I don't know what you thought y'all was getting. But
right.
Anyway, it is directed by Blitz Bazawule. He has done a couple, I think this is his third feature-length film, but his most recent film was Black is King.
Oh.
Yeah, so he directed the Beyonce classic. It is also starring, and I actually just put the link to Wikipedia in our notes versus trying to copy and paste all of this. I'm just going to run down the cast list real quick.
Okay.
Fantasia plays older Sealy, and then Felicia Pearl Posse, I don't know if you pronounced the M in her name or not, is young Sealy. Taraji P. Henson plays Suge Avery. Daniel Brooks plays Sophia. Coben Domingo plays Mr. Corey Hawkins plays Harpo. Her plays Squeak. Holly Bailey plays the young Nettie Harris. Sierra plays the older Nettie. Anjanou Ellis Taylor plays Mama. So she plays Sealy and Nettie's mom. John Batiste plays Grady. Louis Gossett Jr. plays Mr. Johnson, so Mr's dad. David Allen Greer plays Reverend Samuel Avery. Dion Cole, who looked a little different. It took me a second to realize it was him. Plays Alfonso. Tamela Mann plays the First Lady. And then we have Elizabeth Marvel plays Miss Millie. And then Stephen Hill plays Buster. Whoopi Goldberg also made a cameo appearance as the midwife who helped young Sealy give birth.
Yes.
Which I don't think I knew that going into this, that she had a cameo.
No, that was a surprise cameo.
Okay. Very cool. I like that. It had a runtime of 2 hours and 20 minutes. Budget of $90 to $1 million. We'll go with $1 million. I'm sorry.
Wow, just $1 million.
Just one. They did the whole movie on $1 million, guys. Budget was $90 to $100 million. Currently, the box office is sitting at $36.4 million. It has officially not even been out a week. This weekend would have been the first full weekend that it's been out because it came out on Christmas, which was on Monday this year. So some of the things notable about the box office, though, the box office so far is $36.4 million.
Is that worldwide?
You know what? I don't know if it's open worldwide yet.
So it's domestic.
It may be, if anything, it's probably mostly domestic and then a little bit international. So I don't know if it's international yet, but its first day opening on Christmas was $18.2 million. That was better than industry projections. It was the number 4 biggest Monday of all time for WB. So that's of any movie, not just musicals. It is the first biggest opening day for a musical over Les Miserables. Les Miserables? How do you say that? You're the musical kid.
It's Les Mis.
There it is. It is the biggest Christmas Day opening over Les Mis. It is the number 3 biggest Christmas Day opening ever for WB in particular. So it's doing numbers. It's doing pretty good. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, we liked it, so go see it.
Yeah.
But it's box office wise against its budget, it's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Ratings wise, cinema score of an A. which is great. Only thing you can get higher is an A+. Rotten Tomato scores are also good. Critics have it at a 87, and the audience score is a 95.
Yeah.
So critically acclaimed, doing good at the box office. Let's summarize the plot. Oh, also, we're not going to do spoilers for this.
Yeah, it's The Color Purple.
It's The Color Purple, and there's not like a major plot twist. They didn't add to it. So just put it that way.
Yeah.
They didn't add no storyline that you ain't heard of before in this movie. So if you haven't seen The Color Purple, stop now, go watch it, because we are going to spoil from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
I'll summarize the plot though if you haven't seen it. This is the official plot off of Google. Torn apart from her sister and her children, Celie faces hardships in life, including an abusive husband, with support from a sultry singer named Suge Avery, as well as her stand-her-ground stepdaughter. Celie ultimately finds extraordinary strength and unbreakable bonds of a new kind of sisterhood. You know what? I'm just now realizing that Sophia was her stepdaughter.
Yeah, because Celie raised Harpo.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just like, who was her stepdaughter? Duh, just made that. It's probably because in the movie they looked similar age, but that is because Celie obviously married or was forced to marry a much older man. So it's all making sense now. Better late than never to realize that. So, do we want to say who our favorites were in this?
Sure.
I'll let you go first.
So my favorites were Taraji P. Henson's Suge Avery.
You made the
yesterday.
Well, yeah, okay.
It's still two.
I was gonna say yesterday we were stuck between two.
So it's a tie between two. It's between Taraji P. Henson's Suge Avery and Danielle Brooks' Sophia.
I would say exactly the same. I almost am giving a slight edge for me to Danielle Brooks. I don't know why.
Danielle Brooks was. I don't know if they were in more of the movie. I think they were both in the movies equal. They just may not have been in the same moments at the same time, but they were both in it pretty equal.
Yeah. No, what's interesting is that I did a quick scan on the nominations that has gotten so far for movies. I mean, for the award shows coming up. And so far, Danielle Brooks has 2 nominations, one for DC America or DC area film critics, but she also has a Golden Globe nomination.
Okay.
Fantasia has a couple as well, and then Taraji has one for Black Reel Awards.
Okay.
So awards wise, it looks like Danielle Brooks is getting more of like recognition, but I would agree my 2 favorite were her and Taraji.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. Great depiction of Miss Sophia. Danielle Brooks was perfectly cast for that character because Miss Sophia is supposed to be like the larger-than-life person.
Right, with a big personality. She just did a really good job of like...
She did.
I don't even know how to describe it. Like she did I didn't see Oprah when I saw her, but she definitely carries that larger-than-life, like you're not gonna treat me any old type of way. Type of personality. Yeah. She does that. She portrayed that very well like Oprah did in the original.
And Taraji P. Henson, Suge Avery. Suge Avery has always kind of seemed like the hero of the Color Purple because she comes to save Miss Celie.
Right.
And I really liked her character. Taraji P. Henson did a really, really good job of like this character who's supposed to be considered a wild woman. Would they call her a wild woman?
Yeah, loose. They call her loose.
Yeah. Not because of Taraji P. Henson, but she did a really good job just portraying that type of character who wasn't a loose character. She was just a star, and she just refused to let other people outshine her or put her in a box. So,
right. In the movie, they did a good job of depicting like the women thought she was so loose and she was trouble walking, and then the men were like, "Oh, she coming. Let's get cleaned up. Let's get shaved up. Let's get our best dressed on because Suge Avery coming to town."
Yeah. So like for a character who lives life on their own terms, that's absolutely somebody you want Taraji P. Henson playing.
Right. And I wonder if when it came to awards nomination, if they were like stuck. Because you can only probably nominate so many people from a movie. And Fantasia's the lead here. And she does good as well. Fantasia does really good playing Celie. She plays the role. She plays the part. She sounds really good. But, they can only nominate so many people in the lead and so many people in supporting. So I wonder if there was just like this conflict between Danielle and Taraji on who to nominate.
I don't think they should have an issue between nominating them both.
they shouldn't.
If you look at Succession for the past couple of years has been throwing everybody in their cast in the supporting category at the same time.
And I typically don't like when they nominate like the same 3 people from a show or a movie, but I'm biased.
If Succession can do it, then The Color Purple can definitely do it then too.
Right. They definitely could have made it work. But other people that I thought were highlights.
Colman Domingo did a really good job as Mr.
He Colman Domingo is a great actor, period.
Mm-hmm.
But he did a really good job of, you hate him, you despise him. And at the end, I wouldn't say I felt sorry for him, but I'm glad he finally got it together.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, about time you got it together. I still don't like you, but I'm glad you finally
somehow
did something good for once.
Humanized him very quickly at the last bit of the movie.
They did.
With him losing the cotton farm.
Right.
And
I'm trying to think, when people see Danny Glover as Mr., they still hate his guts, but if you see Colman Domingo as Mr., you might not hate his guts as much.
And that goes back to when the movie wrapped up. I said to you, I was like, the movie is a lot more digestible as a musical because the original film, the 1985 film,
mm-hmm.
the musical added like a change in the
levity?
mood. Yeah, it added levity to the devastation because the movie's just back to back being devastated. But
right.
It being a musical helped with the tone.
Mm-hmm.
So it
mm-hmm.
made even the villains, because you even like villains in a musical, and that kind of worked the same way in the movie, where
mm-hmm.
even the villains were like charismatic and you appreciated what they added to the story.
Right. And they had like funny parts.
And they had funny parts, yeah. Like the scenes where it's just Mr. and Harpo talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. And you can see the parallels of how Mr. ended up how Mr. is because of his daddy, and how Harpo ends up how Harpo is because of his daddy. And now the cycle just continues. Right.
So every casting wise, they did very good. Like they found in my opinion, they found all the right people to play all the roles, even small roles. So her is in this as Squeak. And she's not in this very long, but she plays her little part. She played her little part well.
Yeah.
And she only sings once in this movie. So when she first showed up, I was like, oh, she about to bust out a tune. And then she doesn't. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But she still did.
She has like a verse and a group song.
It's maybe lines. I don't even know if it's a whole verse. But when her little acting part is cute and good.
Yep.
And then her singing part is also good. I said this when I read all the names off. I didn't recognize Dion Cole as Dion Cole for a second. It took me a minute to go.
He no facial hair.
Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was like, maybe his face is like more full or something, but it was the facial hair. Okay. And he also wasn't talking like he talks in the Old Spice commercials.
No, he wasn't.
That kind of threw me off. Let's go into what we liked and didn't like about the movie.
Okay.
I didn't actually take very many notes because like it's The Color Purple, so you kind of already know what you're getting. I will say I did like the fact that even though we know The Color Purple has some very low moments and things that are just downright gross and despicable, I like that they didn't get real explicit with it, because they could have.
No,
they could have gotten explicit and graphic like some movies that depict those things do, but they told but not I'm sure, did they show and tell? They were able to show and tell without showing all of it, like, but you got the gist of it. Like you understood what was happening between Nettie and Celie and their dad, and you understood what was happening with Mr. and Nettie and Mr. and Celie ultimately. So I like the fact that we knew what was happening, but they didn't have to feel like they needed to go into graphic detail to tell that story.
And I think it being an adaptation of the Broadway musical helps to that, because you wouldn't be that explicit if you were showing it on Broadway. So you wouldn't be as explicit in the film for some of that stuff. So that's why I think it was a lot more digestible than the original film.
Yep. I like that. Set design was good.
Set design was great. I liked how you could tell the transition between soundstage to real set. Like the juke joint was clearly a soundstage, or at least the interior of it was. And then they go outside and they're clearly on site, like
like when they were in
filming
the house.
an actual lagoon.
Right.
Yeah, or when they're in the house and stuff like that. Or Celie's Fancy Pants shop, you could tell that was a sound stage, and then she goes outside and it's the town, and that's probably just a back lot. But it's you can tell this actual nature outside.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting when they do those period pieces, they have to build a lot of that because you're not gonna find a house that look like that,
or a whole town that looks like that,
right? A whole town, so you know that they built this whole little town, but it still looks good, kind of like in Harder They Fall. They would have had to have built a lot of that because you're not driving somewhere and be like, oh, there it is, that's our little town from the 1800s or 1900s. Like, that's not. So they did really good. Set design, costuming was also good.
Costuming was really good. I liked the sets and the music moments.
Yes,
a lot of the ballads, they would transition. It would kind of look like a music video. They would transition into like a set for just this specific song.
Right.
The one where Celie meets Suge Avery for the first time.
That was a good one.
It transitioned from her bedroom to a record player.
Right.
They were spinning on a record player. I like the set in the movie theater.
Yes, that was good.
When they were walking down the stairs and it kind of looked like a ballroom with the band and stuff.
That was good.
I like that.
One thing I didn't like, and this is a small nitpick, and I mentioned this at the theater, some of the transition into song was a little choppy.
Yeah.
So they, typically in a musical, they are acting in a scene and then I don't even know how to describe it. It just smoothly transitioned into the character going into the song. And here they would like finish a sentence, cut to another scene, and then start the song. And I'm like, is this related to what just happened?
Yeah.
And it got better as the movie went on, but the first couple song transitions was a little choppy.
What they did not do in this movie at all, which a lot of other musicals do, is their dialogue transitions into the song.
Yes,
and in this movie, they would stop talking and then go into song instead of singing into the song.
It was almost like listening to an album where it goes song, pause, song, pause, song, pause. And I was like, transition.
It makes me think of like in Sweeney Todd, for example, when they're in the square. When they're in the town square listening to the barber, this whack barber try to demonstrate his barbering techniques. And like they're in the crowd and they're talking, and then Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter start like singing. Right. They like start singing while the crowd is talking, then the crowd starts to like join into it. Okay. Yeah, they didn't transition into song.
I'm trying to think of another non-animated or non-Disney musical that I've seen that's done that really well. I can't think. Like Hamilton. Although Hamilton is like hard, like every other scene is like a song. This movie, which is something I did like, is that it did a good mix of dialogue and song. So if you're not a lover of musicals such as I, this is still good because they do a good mix of lots of talking, lots of dialogue, song, talking, dialogue, song. So it's a good mix versus Hamilton, where it's just like song. Somebody says a sentence. Oh, song.
There are moments we both mentioned where we forgot that it was a musical because they had just had dialogue for so long.
Right. And I mean, it's not like it was boring.
And they were never singing for so long that we forgot that when they went back to dialogue, we forgot that it wasn't a musical.
Right. So the balance of song and dialogue was good, especially for me as somebody who's not a lover of musicals. So a lot of people were checking out on this movie because they don't like musicals. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. You're an adult. You can get over it. I was telling my friend that if you can watch The Little Mermaid, you can watch this. It's literally the same in terms of dialogue and song. Although I think Little Mermaid song transitions were a little better in terms of how they just flew into a song.
Well, that's Disney.
Well, you're right.
Disney's really good at musicals.
Right, exactly. So when it's funny because when I say I don't like musicals, I do like Disney movies, but I don't think Disney movies is musicals. However, Little Mermaid is a live action musical, quote unquote. If you can watch that, then you could definitely handle The Color Purple.
Yeah. Anything
you would change?
I don't think that there's anything I would change, really.
It was 2 hours and 20 minutes. It didn't feel long, but it felt like 2 hours and 20 minutes. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, it definitely felt like 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I don't know if it felt like that because I knew the story, so I was just waiting for them to get to certain moments.
However, it did feel like they flew past that first part.
Yeah, we get to they were kids for about 50 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, I checked the time.
Oh, were they?
And I was like, wow, it was about a good 50 minutes before they actually like transitioned into Fantasia.
Okay. I didn't think to check that. So I guess the first third or a little more than a third of the movie is them as kids, and then the rest of it is them as adults. I will say that I was kind of waiting for them to get to the adult part, because the kids part is so like sad and depressing because of the life that they have to live in, and the people around them treat them like crap. And their environment sucks. So I was like, are they about to grow up? Can they grow up?
Yeah.
Where's Fantasia? Where is she? So then when they did like the part where they basically spin around a room and Celie's young, and then eventually they spin around and she comes around the corner and she's Fantasia at that point, I was like, oh, thank you. I mean, even though
the suffering was not going to get any more,
even though Mr. does not change, he's still a jerk and a horrible person. After I
think it's harder to look at her younger going through that than it was watching her be an adult, even though nobody deserves it at any age. But it was just very hard watching Halle Bailey and this young girl playing Celie dealing with this.
It was very much like, I think I said a couple times, gross. This is gross.
Yeah, because the men didn't age. Right. They were already old.
In the movie, none of the men aged up. Only people that aged up were Nettie and Celie. Harpo.
Technically.
Right. All of the kids, put it that way. If they were a kid at the beginning, they aged up. But if they were a grown adult, man, they stayed. Like, they grade up some people. So Taraji P. Henson, I guess they grade up everybody.
Yeah.
As you get towards the end of the movie, and they put the years as they move periods. So they aged them up with gray hair. But the kids change. The adults, and particularly the men, do not change.
No.
So gross.
Yeah.
I literally was like, this is gross. What else do I have? So that was, I don't think I would change anything. There was one thing we both said where we thought some of the songs could have been a little more punchy.
Yeah, I think we went in there with the last musical.
Disney, maybe.
The last musical we went to go see was The Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
So and it opened up with Holly. So I just don't think The Color Purple has the same punchy songs as The Little Mermaid, but also different subject matter. So
much lighter on the Little Mermaid side.
It's fair that the songs in The Color Purple aren't punchy because little Ariel did not have Celie issues in the scene. So
she was living a good life under the sea.
She was.
She didn't have a nice crab to steer her in the right direction.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I was looking for a
part of your world moment.
I was, when she like bust out of the water into the rock. I was like, yeah. I was like, I didn't really get that, but you're right. Different subject matter, totally different tone of movie.
Right. One's different trials and tribulations.
One ain't. One is a fake creature that doesn't exist, and then unfortunately, a lot of these situations happen in real life.
Yeah.
So I did want to point out that 13 songs from the musical were cut from the film, if you can believe that or not.
Yeah, I can believe that because a lot of them, I assume in the Broadway musical, the men had a lot of songs.
Oh, you're right.
But there were no songs for the men in this.
Harpo has a song. I actually was expecting Coleman Domingo to sing, and he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't have a song at all. Yeah,
he didn't. David Allen Greer sung for a little bit. His older Mr.
Cora sung in the beginning.
Yeah, you're right. There wasn't a lot of men's songs outside of Harpo's song in the juke joint.
Yeah. Even though I have not seen the musical, but I feel like musicals have a lot more singing than dialogue. So I just assume they just cut a lot of those songs out.
And I do like how they added like all the dancing in this movie. So Fatima Robinson, who, if you don't know, is a famed choreographer. She also works a lot with Beyonce.
She did the Renaissance choreo.
She is. There is some instances of the choreography where I was like, this could fit in a Beyonce video.
Yeah,
music video. Because you said some of this dancing real modern.
Somebody should do a Beyonce on beat to the Color Purple songs just to see the choreo lineup.
Some of it there was one particular move where Celie was singing about her child, her baby, and she says,
the guys
were obviously
the prisoners,
like in a chain gang dancing around her, and they did like Lift Every Voice and Sing from Homecoming move, and I was like, this could fit in the Beyonce. And then there was another movie that looked kind of been
when
in formation.
the formation choreo when Harpo was building the juke joint with the brothers in the lagoon.
Well, not at that part, and when Sophia was singing the Hell No song.
Yes.
And they did the little
and the woman did the shoulder thing.
Yeah,
I was like, this is the I'm that girl choreo from the tour.
This got Fatima all over it. And I ain't mad at it. But I did like all of I told you, it felt like they really put money into this. Mm-hmm. Like it didn't it looked appropriately budgeted. Like I can see where the $100 million was at in the set design and the dancing. Everybody's wigs was looking pretty good.
Everything looked good.
You know, sometimes in movies like that's a wig, that's a bad wig. Get this wig off this person. But everybody's wig and look, you know, because the movie takes place in the 1900s, so they have to look a particular way, and they fit the part. They did a good job of that.
Favorite line or scene?
Favorite line or scene? My favorite would have to be when Sophia sung her song before she left Harpo. I think that was the Hell No song.
Okay.
I think I think she might have just been my favorite character in general. I want to say Sophia for sure.
My favorite scene would probably be the dinner scene at the end before Celie leaves. When Suge tells Mr. that they're taking Celie with them back to Memphis.
Right. That was a great scene because it was serious. It was funny. You was finally glad to see Celie take some control back.
Miss Sophia snapped back
to herself. So that was also good. So yeah, that would be a close second.
Favorite line would probably be Miss Sophia telling Mr. to go hang out with people his own age in a graveyard somewhere.
That was
that was good.
Good lines.
Miss Sophia had the best lines.
She did. She had the best line delivery.
Or when her first scene when she walked into the men's bar.
Oh yeah.
And they told her to read a sign, and she said, "No fighting."
It said, "No fighting, no something, no women, no cheering."
And then she said, "No women." She said, "Oh, that's nice. I only read what pleases me."
Yeah, she was very good. I see why she's getting some award nominations because she was really good.
She was very good.
I actually want to go see what other stuff she's in to go watch it.
I first discovered her in Orange Is the New Black.
Yeah,
she was in Peacemaker. She plays Viola Davis's daughter.
Oh, that's her character in Peacemaker. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I started Orange Is the New Black. I did not finish Orange Is the New Black. I fell off pretty quickly. I think she also does a lot of, I'm just looking her up. She seems to do quite a bit of theater as well. Mm-hmm. So, awesome. Anything else we want to talk about with this movie other than telling people to go see it?
Yeah, people should absolutely go see this movie. Like I said, if you're somebody, it reminded me of the original Color Purple. Reminds me of the Joy Luck Club, where they're good, inspirational, uplifting movies, but you have to wade through so much sadness to get to it.
Oh yeah.
And seeing the Color Purple, this version as a musical, made the film a lot. It doesn't water down the subject material, and it does not water down what the characters went through, but it does make it just a lot more digestible because of the levity that the musical adds to it.
Agree.
And I was saying I kind of want a Joy Luck Club musical too now.
No,
but even though no.
I don't even know how, and I haven't seen a Joy Luck Club in a long time, but it's like the
harrowing.
Color Purple.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like moments of like, whoo, get these people out of here. Where is the relief? Where is the happiness?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you haven't seen the Joy Luck Club and you like the Color Purple, I think you would like the Joy Luck Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're kind of in the same vein of type of film.
Right. They're in the Joy Luck Club is also about like family, and it's less of, well, let me take that back. It's more about women who were friends growing up in China and like their upbringing, but it starts way back in the day. So there's a lot of like that old ways and certain things that would not
and
be
entirely
appropriate.
different cultures.
Yeah,
so
different cultures. Things that would not be appropriate then or shouldn't have been appropriate then are not appropriate now type of situations. But yeah, if you liked the Color Purple, then I would recommend the Joy Luck Club.
If you like the Joy Luck Club, definitely you would like the Color Purple.
Right, vice versa.
Vice versa. I think that if you like musicals, of course, go see this movie because it definitely has the musical element on lock and actual people who can sing.
Yes.
All of the songs were good. All of the notes that they hit were good. So that's a good element. There were some moments in The Little Mermaid where there
What?
was one particular song that was added.
Are you
that-
talking about your favorite
Uncharted Waters.
Jay loves that song.
Uncharted Waters is a number one on
Uncharted
Billboard hit.
waters.
All genres.
Come find me. That
But
song was. I don't
the song was
Woo.
awful. But it was
There's
awful.
none of that
It was
in
also
this.
awful because they added it, and I don't think there
Yeah.
were any original songs in this movie.
I don't know.
I think all of these songs in this movie
might
were
have been
songs from the Broadway musical.
Okay, or
Yeah.
if so, it might have been maybe one or two, but I think all of this is ripped from the Broadway.
Yeah.
The Broadway musical. There is a sound. There's two soundtracks. There's one soundtrack is from the songs in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another soundtrack which are songs that are inspired by the movie. So it's kind of like the Lion King.
Oh yeah, because Her
soundtrack.
has a song.
Yep, it's like the Lion King, the animated, the live action. That wasn't live action. The newer one.
And then there's the Blackest King
And then
album.
there's Blackest King album. So
Yeah.
they kind of have that going on with this. I haven't listened to either because I wanted to wait until we saw the movie. I was silly and was like, I didn't want to spoil it. And I was like, how do you spoil The Color Purple?
No.
You don't, especially not through song.
So final words and our rating. Worth the theater? I think it is worth the theater.
Absolutely.
It is going to be one of those films that I get a physical release on.
I would probably, you know what? I'm about to rebuild my DVD collection because streaming's about to die.
Yeah, you made a good point where you don't think streaming's going to make it out of the decade, and I don't think it is either. I think they're going to kill streaming.
Y'all need to go listen. This is a side.
Mm-hmm.
Go buy your DVDs. Whatever movies
Buy
you
them
like.
now while they're low.
Get them out the discount bin. If there's Amazon Prime does a lot of sales for DVDs.
Download what you can, burn it.
Put it in a lockbox.
Yeah.
Make your own vault. You know how Disney got a vault? You need to make your own vault. So yes, I would probably buy this just so that I have it for later because y'all about to get rid of streaming. Y'all better get y'all DVDs.
Yeah, streaming's
Blu-rays,
going away.
whatever they're gonna be called in the future.
So yeah, definitely go see it in the theater. Then get you a physical release for it.
Absolutely.
And
Steelbook? I don't think they do steelbooks for everything. I think that's a Disney thing only.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think.
Okay, so
Color
there won't be a
Purple-
Color Purple steelbook, but
No.
they will have the digital Blu-ray copy in one. That's
Yeah.
gonna be available with the extras. With the, you know, we got to get our behind-the-scene extras in your DVDs. So
Okay, so that is our review on The Color Purple in theaters. Go check it out.
go see it. Go see it sooner rather than later. That way, the box office numbers go up.
Yeah.
I'm biased. I'm very biased about that.
What are we doing next?
I don't know.
So things.
We're in between the movies, so we can either go see Ferrari, which not making a lot of waves.
No, and it's got a B cinema score, which means that people did not like it.
It's not getting a lot of love. Ferrari is a Michael Mann movie, and as we've already talked about, Heat is one of my favorite movies. Heat 2 is coming out, both by Michael Mann. So I'm not sure what is falling flat with Ferrari. I'm a little concerned. But either Ferrari or maybe we can either do Legacy of Monsters. Nope, that won't be done yet. What If? Maybe we'll talk about What If next episode.
Yeah, What If will be over.
It's officially today. It's the last episode.
So we can go see What If.
We
can talk about What
We
If.
can do What If. And I still think American Fiction is not playing for us locally. Still. So we want to see it. I want to see it. It was one of my most anticipated for 2023. So if we can get a hold of American Fiction, maybe that.
Okay.
So surprise, we don't know yet. You'll see when we upload the episode. But thanks for subscribing. Thanks for listening. Please leave us a review on your favorite podcast app or on our website. And also you can do us a 1 or 2 or 3 solid and share this with 1 or 2 or 3 friends.
Yes, please do.
All right.
We love being shared.
Please. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Until next week.
All right. Bye.